Liora Astralis, the Sanctum of Echoes. Liora Astralis stood at the edge of the Sanctum of Echoes, the glowing crystal temple rising from the celestial ocean like a beacon of forgotten stories. It pulsed with a soft, rhythmic light, as if it were breathing, its very essence alive with the whispers of ages past. Beside her, Aurelith's vast form coiled gracefully, twin supernova eyes gleaming with the knowledge of 1,000 lifetimes. You are about to step beyond time, traveler of the tides, the celestial serpent murmured. Within these walls, the past does not fade, it lives. Liora exhaled, bracing herself. Excitement thrummed in her veins. She had spent her life chasing myths, uncovering the unseen wonders of the cosmos. But this was something different. This was a history that never ended. As she stepped forward, the temple's crystalline surface shifted beneath her touch. The moment her fingers brushed the shimmering walls, the entire structure sang, a sound like distant starbursts, like the hum of a galaxy being born. The melody wrapped around her, warm and inviting, and she swore she could hear voices. Laughter, whispers, songs from ages long past. Then the temple responded. The crystal spires brightened, and the entrance unfurled before her, parting like petals of a celestial bloom. The light within beckoned. "Come, Liora," Aurelith said. "It is time to meet an old friend." The moment Liora stepped inside, she felt the air shift. The Sanctum of Echoes was not just a place, it was a living memory. The walls shimmered like flowing water, rippling with echoes of moments long gone but never forgotten. Wisps of golden light floated in the air, moving like fireflies through the vast chamber. Some hovered close, swirling around Liora in curiosity, their warmth brushing against her skin like an embrace. Then, from the heart of the temple, a figure emerged. It was small, no taller than Liora's waist, with a body woven from the same glowing essence as the temple itself. Its form shimmered and shifted, never quite settling, at times appearing humanoid, at times like a creature spun from stardust. Its eyes, large and luminous, held galaxies within them. With a delighted laugh, the being leaped forward and wrapped its arms around Aurelith's massive coils in an affectionate hug. "You brought a new traveler," it exclaimed, its voice like the chime of silver bells. "It has been so long since we have had someone new to play with." Aurelith's form pulsed with soft amusement. "Liora, meet Vesperus, keeper of the first echo." Vesperus turned to Liora, its ever-changing form flickering with excitement. "Oh, she has the heart of a dreamer," it sang, spinning in a slow circle, as if to examine her form from all angles. "I like her already." Liora grinned. "I like you too." Vesperus clapped its hands and the temple reacted. The golden wisps in the air flared to life, pulsing with energy, and Liora gasped as images began to swirl around them, figures forming from light, moving, speaking, living. "These are the echoes," Vesperis said, its voice softening with reverence. "They are not mere recordings of the past. They are memories that breathe. Each one is a story that longs to be experienced, to be felt. They are our history, our imagination, our reminder that this universe is built on creativity, magic, peace, and beauty." Leora's fingers tingled as she reached toward a shimmering echo. It flickered like the light of a dying star, waiting and calling. "Go on," Vesperis encouraged. "Step inside." Liora took a deep breath and reached for the echo. The moment her fingertips brushed the swirling light, warmth rushed through her body. The world around her shifted, tilting, blurring, and then nothing. She stumbled backward, the echo dissolving before it could fully form. Vesperis blinked. Aurelith's coils rippled with amusement. Liora groaned, running a hand through her hair. "That was not what I expected." Vesperis erupted into a cascade of musical laughter, clutching its sides. "Oh, that was delightful! You almost had it." Liora grinned sheepishly. "So what did I do wrong?" "You mustn't force it," Aurelith rumbled. "The echo is not a doorway to be pushed open. It is a river, one you must flow into." Liora nodded, rolling her shoulders. "Okay, let's try again." Vesperis bounced excitedly. "Yes, yes! You are learning already, again. The second time, she let herself breathe. She reached again, but this time she did not pull. She listened. As her fingers grazed the echo, warmth curled around her once more. This time she felt something. A whisper of wind, the scent of something sweet, something old. A burst of laughter from unseen lips. The feeling of running. The echo wavered, flickering between substance and light. Liora gasped, exhilaration surging through her veins. "I felt it! I felt something!" Vesperis let out a delighted whoop, spinning in circles. "Yes, you touched the echo! You are so close!" Aurelith dipped his great head. "One more time, Liora, traveler of the tides." Liora steadied herself. She was ready. She reached again, and this time she let go. The moment her fingers touched the swirling light, it embraced her. The temple disappeared. The celestial ocean vanished. She was somewhere else. Golden fields stretched before her, rolling in waves like the tides she had just walked upon. A great sun hung in the sky, larger than any she had ever seen, bathing the land in soft warmth. The wind whispered through the tall grass, carrying the scent of something sweet and unfamiliar. And then, laughter. Liora turned, breath catching. Figures ran through the fields, their bodies woven from the same light as the echo itself. They danced, they played, their joy boundless and free. A story was unfolding before her, around her, with her. She was inside the echo. Liora threw her head back and laughed. the sound full of wonder and triumph. She had done it. The adventure had begun, and Liora was ready for whatever story came next. The first echo, a world beyond time. Liora Astralis stood at the heart of something beyond time. The golden fields stretched infinitely in all directions, waves of luminescent grass bending in a wind that had no origin, no end. The massive sun overhead cast its warm glow, but the light was soft, as though it cared for her comfort, wrapping her in its radiance rather than overwhelming her. This was no memory, no future. It was simply joyous existence. Her fingers brushed over the stalks of grass, which shimmered like spun gold at her touch. The air was rich with an impossible fragrance, honeyed twilight, the crispness of dawn, the salt of distant stars. She turned in place, taking in the wonder of it all, her heart swelling with exhilaration. Then, as if it had always been there, a familiar voice rumbled with warm amusement. "You feel it, don't you?" Liora spun around to see Aurelith, his great celestial form resting lazily in the air, his tail coiled among the shifting grasses as if they were water. His eyes, twin supernovas, gleamed knowingly. A shimmer of golden mist swirled beside him, forming and reforming into the small, star-spun figure of Vesperus. They grinned, their ever-changing form crackling with energy. Liora laughed, breathless. This place, it's alive. The light sings, the wind speaks, the ground moves beneath me, like it knows I'm here. It's not just a memory, it's something more, so much more. Something present. Vesperus clapped their hands together. Oh, she gets it. Oh, she gets it. Aurelith let out a deep chuckle, his celestial coils shifting, sending ripples through the air. Of course she does. She was meant to. Liora frowned playfully. You knew all this already, didn't you? Vesperus burst into laughter, twirling mid-air. Oh, of course. We have danced through the echoes since before the beginning. We have been part of them. The sanctum is not just a place, dear traveler. It is a song we have sung for eons. Liora let out an incredulous laugh. And now I get to dance with you? Aurelith's eyes softened, his vast form shimmering. You always have. As Liora let the words settle into her heart, something small and fluffy barreled into her from behind. She stumbled forward, barely catching herself, before falling into the golden grass. A high-pitched trill rang through the air, followed by the sound of rapid scuttling paws. Liora turned and gasped. A creature stood before her, its fur a swirling mix of nebula blues and silvers, soft and shimmering as though woven from cosmic clouds. Its large, curious eyes gleamed like distant moons, and its ears twitched with mischievous excitement. It let out another trill and pounced, landing lightly on Liora's shoulder, its tiny paws impossibly soft against her skin. Vesperus let out a delighted squeal. Oh, what luck! You've been chosen! Aurelith gave a slow nod, his voice filled with approval. The Lunari are selective in their affections. It seems you have made quite the impression." Liora giggled, reaching up to scratch behind the creature's luminous ears. "A Lunari, huh? And what exactly does that mean?" Vesperus waggled their fingers mysteriously. "It means you have a new shadow for as long as this little one wishes it." The Lunari purred, a sound like wind through chimes, and nuzzled against Leora's cheek before hopping down into the golden grass. It pranced ahead, twirling in little circles before bouncing forward, its fluffy tail bouncing behind it. Leora's grin widened. "Looks like it wants me to follow." Aurelith's great tail curled in amusement. "Then go, traveler of the tides. There is much to see." Liora followed the Lunari deeper into the echo, her heart racing with exhilaration. The golden fields soon gave way to something even more wondrous. Massive, crystalline flowers spiraled up from the ground, their translucent petals shifting between colors with every breath of wind. Some shimmered in deep blues and purples, while others pulsed with fiery reds and golds. When Liora brushed her fingers against one, it released a soft ringing note, like a drop of water falling into a still pond. She gasped. "The flowers, they sing!" Vesperus, floating lazily beside her, grinned. "Oh yes, these are the chorus blossoms. Each one holds a note of the universe's oldest song. If you listen long enough, you might just hear the whole melody." Further ahead, glowing rivers wound through the land, their waters reflecting stars that did not exist in the sky above. Liora knelt beside one, running her fingers through the liquid light, and the river responded, sending ripples that danced with new constellations. "The stars," Liora whispered. "They're being created in the water." Aurelith nodded, his voice reverent. "These are the wells of the luminous. The celestial ocean is not just a place of discovery. It is a place of creation." Leora's breath hitched. She had dreamed of places like this, imagined the magic of the universe, but to see it, to touch it, it was more than she had ever hoped. Then the Lunari let out a playful chirp and bounded toward a nearby tree, a towering thing with branches like liquid silver, its fruit glowing softly. The little creature pawed at one, knocking it loose, and it rolled to Leora's feet. She picked it up cautiously. It was warm in her hands, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Vesperus gave her an encouraging nod. "Go on, taste it." Liora hesitated, then took a bite. The moment the fruit touched her tongue, an explosion of flavor filled her senses, like the sweetest honey kissed by the coolness of moonlight, a taste that felt like laughter, like the embrace of the cosmos itself. She let out a delighted gasp. This is the most incredible thing I have ever eaten." Vesperus giggled. "Told you so." The Lunari trilled once more and nuzzled against Leora's leg before taking a few steps back. It tilted its head, large eyes gleaming. Then, softly, it spoke. "My name is Miri," it said, its voice a gentle melody. "I must return to my home for now. Liora blinked in surprise but smiled warmly, kneeling to stroke the creature's soft fur. "Mary, I like that." Mary let out a happy chirp, twirling once before looking back up at her. "I will find you again soon. We will play, and I will follow you on your adventures." Leora's heart swelled. "I'll be waiting." With one last delighted sound, Miri bounded off into the fields, her glowing fur vanishing into the golden horizon. Liora stood, taking in a deep, full breath. The echo around her hummed, its beauty infinite, its wonders endless. She turned to Aurelith and Vesperis, excitement sparkling in her eyes. "So," she said with a grin, "what happens in the next echo?" Aurelith's cosmic form shimmered. Vesperis grinned wildly. "Oh," they both said in unison, "just you wait and see." And the universe, vast and waiting, called her onward.